It's dealing and operating with spirits, full of people that have no identity, no history, no spiritual connection to the Most High. Any wisdom is good wisdom. Just so you can have something different than what you're used to is good. But when you look at the whole picture, what is it doing? Now I'm going to go into it in a moment, because a lot of you don't know that hallucinogens and drugs was actually aimed towards God's people. They were aimed. It was an orchestrated effort to make sure these things stay within our culture. You'll never read of these things while we were a strong people within Israel before we fell. You don't hear about none of these things. You hear about these things after we fell. A matter of fact, they were a part of our fall. It's dealing and operating with spirits. Last night we did a class on the fact that there's a God over every nation of the earth. But the Most High did not put us under any other God. So we're under the God of all gods. There's a book under at Yale University in the United States that the elite have under the Skull and Bone. This book they claim is an ancient book from old time, but this particular book was given to the Skull and Bone and helped form, really is the top doctrine of the CIA. With this book, this sorcerer, this Jewish sorcerer, that's who he was. He wrote a book on plants, on all the plants and hallucinogens, how to cast spells on people and how to keep people in an altered state in control of society. So your secret society, Skull and Bones, and your Illuminati powers needed these plants to keep the people in an alternative state. Marijuana is one of these plants. The poppy seed was one of these plants. So don't think that these plants just popped up from nowhere, targeted at you, being sold to you. It was a plan. These were all plans for you brothers and sisters as an alternative to the Most High. And they can keep you controlled, keep you in an altered state, and you would never attempt to connect to your Father. Yes, it would make you wise. The serpent had knowledge that could make Adam and Eve wise in the garden. But was it good for them? Through that, they died. They had the wisdom to understand both good and evil. But the Most High said, you better not take of that fruit. In this particular book, and you can find this, you can actually look at it. There's a video you can look at called Illuminati Bloodline. And in this book, it shows all the different flowers and hallucinogens that allow people to interact with spirits. It was aimed towards you. The CIA was set up as a orchestrated, what you would call organization, aimed towards feeding this to the people and keeping the people under these hallucinating spirits. Crack, cocaine, marijuana, heroin, all these are CIA chemist concoctions. Meth, all these things was aimed towards a people. Now, of course, other people get caught in the loop, but when you do the math on a high percentage, who is these things affecting? Us. We didn't need, like I mentioned earlier, when we were Israel, we did not need these things to go on a higher plane. We were on the highest plane you can get. We were connected directly with the Most High. The Most High used to come down on the tabernacle of the priest himself He's to send a chariot down on the tabernacle of the priest and communicate directly with our priests. We had a direct connection with the Most High. Now, we're not here to judge what you do, but we're here to give some understanding on why we do these things. We are a smart, intellectual, spiritual people without these things. So I'm not going to attribute the mind the Most High gave me to an outside substance. That'll be demeaning the brain God gave me. That would be demeaning the power the Most High gave us to think. So I'm not going to attribute my spiritual uplifting to a substance within the earth. That again is a part, or what you would say, another form of idolatry. Man, I can't do this without this plant. Man, hold up, before I do anything, I can't think right. Let me get this together. Okay, so what happens when you have no access to this? What happens? How do you use your brain now? Now that you're dependent on these outside substances, right? First of all due respect to the Rastas, we are not through Haile Selassie's line. The Benjamites and the Jamaicans did not come through Haile Selassie. Let's straighten that out first. Let's go to 1 Kings, the 10th chapter. Now, if you want to talk about Solomon, you must go into the what? The Bible. How many of you seen the video we did here where the Rastafarian doctrine in the United Kingdom? Who's seen that video? You seen it? Did you notice the madness? And I'll tell you why though. How can you be a Rasta? How can you be a Rasta and say that Haile Selassie came through Sheba and Solomon, and in the same breath tell us you cannot or you should not go into the Bible? If we don't go into the Bible, how can we prove that Haile Selassie came through Solomon and Sheba? That's the story that's written of in the Bible. Go to 1 Kings, the 10th chapter, and start at the first verse.
1 Kings, chapter 10, verse 1. And when the queen of Sheba heard of the fame of Solomon concerning the name of the Most High.
Concerning the what?
Concerning the name of the Most High.
So first of all, Solomon had the true name of the Most High. The name is AhchQaWa. That's the name. We're going to put this out over and over and over again. The Jewish people know this. They have it in their secret canons. But they hide it from the populace, afraid that the people that originally called on the name will grab the name at the very end. So they hide it, and they give you Yahweh or Jehovah purposely. They will never give you a name of power. Words have power. Alright? Read.
And when the queen of Sheba heard of the fame of Solomon concerning the name of the Most High, she came to prove him with hard questions.
So she came to prove him. She came to deal with him and debate with him based on the content of his learning. Alright, that's what she came for. Read.
Verse 2. And she came to Jerusalem with a very great train, with camels that bear spices, and very much gold, and precious stones. And when she was come to Solomon, she communed with him, of all that was in her heart.
So she communed, she sat and ate with him and told him all the things that was in her mind. Okay, it's not talking about her physical heart. She started expressing the things on her mind. Read.
Verse 3. And Solomon told her all her questions. There was not anything hid from the king, which he told her not.
So everything she asked, anything she wanted to know, he expounded and answered all her questions. She came back totally full with wisdom based on anything she wanted to know within the earth. Any off-the-wall question, no matter what it was, Solomon was able to answer it. If it was within the earth, Solomon had wisdom on this. Now, this was before Solomon's fall. Solomon didn't fall following the God of the Hebrews. In his older age, he got with this young Egyptian woman who was dealing with the gods of the past. Those are the gods that took down Solomon. So when you go into Egyptology and all these different religions, you don't know your history. You fell falling to these particular gods. So they'll flood your neighborhood with these different books. They'll flood you with Egyptology, Islam, all these different religions, knowing that that was part of our downfall. Look at all the wisdom Solomon is bestowing on Sheba. It's not because he got Egyptology or anything else. She had to come from a far land to get this wisdom as a queen. This was before Solomon's fall. Who did Solomon know? AhchQaWa, the God of the Hebrews. That's who he knew. That's who he exalted. That's who gave him wisdom of this world. Read.
Verse 4. And when the queen of Sheba had seen all Solomon's wisdom, and the house that he had built, and the meat of his table, and the sitting of his servants, and the attendance of his ministers, and their apparel, and his cupbearers, and his ascent, by which he went up unto the house of the Most High, there was no more spirit in her. And she said to the king, It was a true report that I heard in my own land of the acts and of thy wisdom.
Go ahead.
Howbeit, I believed not the words until I came, and my eyes had seen it. And behold, the half was not told me. Thy wisdom and prosperity exceeded the thing which I heard.
She said, listen, what they said, I didn't believe. But now that I've seen this with my own eyes, it's greater than what I believe, what they were saying. With her one-on-one interaction with Solomon. Read.
Verse 8. Happy are thy men, happy are thy servants, which stand continually before thee, and that hear thy wisdom. Blessed be the Most High Power, which delighteth in thee, to set thee on the throne of Israel, because the Most High loves Israel forever.
He loved Israel for what?
Forever.
Go ahead.
Therefore made he thee king, to do judgment and justice. And she gave the king 120 talents of gold, and of spices very great store, and precious stones. There came no more such abundance of spices as these, which the queen of Sheba gave to King Solomon. And the navy also of Hiram, that brought gold from Ophir, brought in from Ophir great plenty of almond trees and precious stones. And the king made of the almond trees pillars for the house of the Most High, and for the king's houses, harps also and psalteries for singers. There came no such almond trees, nor were seen unto this day. And King Solomon gave unto Queen of Sheba all her desire, whatsoever she asked, beside that which Solomon gave her of his royal bounty. So she turned and went to her own country, she and her servants.
Now, within any of these verses, now this is the only account of Queen Sheba and Solomon. Within all we've read, did you read anything or see anything or hear anything about a relationship where King Solomon laid with Queen of Sheba?